Follow us along as we unveil the untold life of Kim Cattrall while showing you some of her rare photos. Daughter of a construction worker, Kim and her siblings were forced to the harsh realities of life at a very early stage in life. She was only 3 months old when the family had to move to British Columbia from Liverpool, only to return 10 years later to fend for their sick grandmother. And it was on her return to Liverpool that she found her life's calling. According to Kim, she knew instantly that she wanted to be an actress after she saw her first play, Oscar Wilde's Importance of Being Earnest. Her passion drove her to the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts, where she was involved in theatrical production. By 16, Cattrall believed that she was ready for the industry, but she was so wrong. But then she was too far gone by now to turn back. Kim made her film debut in the 1975 Preminger's action thriller Rosebud. It was not so much of a big deal, but it was enough to get her started. The following year, she got a contract with Universal Studios and went ahead to feature in films like Quincy M.E., Starsky and Hutch, The Bastards, and Rebels. You might also remember her as Dr. Gabriel White on The Incredible Hulk. Most people believe that she had her breakthrough role in Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country. Well, that to date is one of her most influential appearances. But I think when we talk about the role that gave her the grand stage, it would be Samantha Jones in Sex and the City. So 1997 became the winning year for the actress, and not just for Sex and the City, but appearing in commercials for Pepsi One grew her fame. For her Samantha Jones role, Kim was nominated for 5 Emmy Awards and 4 Golden Globes, winning 1 in 2002. The later years of Kim's career were sprinkled with little wins here and there. Some of her notable appearances after Samantha Jones include Tina Harwood in Ice Princess, Amelia Bly in The Ghostwriter, and most recently, she decided to join the cast of How I Met Your Father. Kim had an amazing career, but a lot of people were still disappointed. They hated the fact that she refused to reprise her role as Samantha Jones for the 3rd time. Kim had perfect excuses, and this time, she was struggling to stay afloat amid the tragedies of life that came to drown her. I know you heard about it too. But all was not well with Kim Cattrall and some members of the cast of Sex and the City. While they seemed like they got together on screen, behind the scenes, most of them could barely stand each other. Maybe that's why she rejected the 3rd Sex and the City offer, or just like most people believe, she got tired of the role. Anyway, Kim Cattrall and actress Sarah Jessica Parker have maintained bad blood since their time on Sex and the City.
I'm not blind. I saw that look in your eye in my office.
Kim has called her out quite a number of times in the media as a hypocrite, stating clearly that they were never friends. She even describes her relationship with her as toxic. "We've never been friends," she said. "We've been colleagues, and in some ways, it's a healthy place to be because then you have a clear line between your professional life and your personal." Another reason why she said no to Samantha Jones after the 2nd time was that it strained her relationships. People would always assume that she was comfortable with her sexuality as Samantha was in the show. I am no expert in sex, but I felt under huge pressure in the past to be one because of the characters I've played. Kim remains grateful for Samantha Jones and all the good things it brought her way. But at some point, the bad outweighed the good, and she insisted that it was time for goodbyes. But what about her other relationships? Now, how do they say it? You can either have Hollywood or a happy relationship. You just can't keep both. That proved to be true in Kim Cattrall's life, as Samantha Jones would make sure that she never did have the happy ending she truly sought after. Kim has been married 3 times, and with each divorce, Cattrall's dream of a happily ever after keeps getting even more blurry. Her first marriage was with Canadian writer Larry Davis. They tied the knot in 1977, and after 2 years, the couple realized that they had made a terrible mistake. They were never meant to be together, and by 1979, their marriage was annulled. She gave love another try in 1982 when she agreed to marry German architect Andre J. Layson. The couple relocated to Frankfurt, and there, Kim learned her husband's tongue. But while struggling to balance wife duties with her growing career, the couple's relationship suffered. Cattrall was faced with a hard choice, her husband or her career. Well, you can guess her pick, as in 1989, they separated after 7 years as husband and wife. Her last marriage was with music engineer Mark Levinson. They were together for 6 years and even wrote a book together, Satisfaction: The Art of Female Orgasm, which they published in 2002. But this was not going to last as well. They separated 2 years later, and their divorce was finalized in 2004. Despite having her heart broken so many times, Kim has not lost faith in love's reward. So, who is she with now? Kim Cattrall met Russell Thomas, a BBC sound engineer, during her visit for SA Record. They kept in touch and finally reunited during the pandemic, and it keeps getting better and better for the Canadian movie star. From time to time, she shares pictures of herself and Russell on Instagram, and recently they celebrated their 7th anniversary. But not too long ago, Kim faced another great tragedy. In 2018, Kim's brother, Chris Cattrall, killed himself, and the actress wouldn't stop blaming herself for his death. With my mom, she was 93, and it was a slow decline. But my brother, this was out of the natural order, she said. This wasn't supposed to happen. Chris was reported missing for 5 days before he was discovered dead, and it was only after a year that Kim would reveal the true cause of his death. According to her, her brother struggled with heavy substance abuse, alcoholism, and depression. That drove him constantly to isolation until he decided to end it all. Alcohol is a mistress that gets you alone and then kills you, she shared. I'm just glad that my father was not alive to experience it. As tough as he was, I don't think he could have taken it. But before then, she had already been facing different demons of her own in the industry. A director once told me years after being dropped suddenly from a TV pilot that it was because I didn't give the network boss a hard-on. Kim Cattrall has also had her fair share of mischievous directors who would do anything to get her in bed with them. And a popular experience she shared was how she got fired from a film project because she failed to please the executive sexually. Another one was during her early days in the industry with Otto Preminger, and she would describe him as insensitive. I was 17, and he said I reminded him of Marilyn Monroe for her lack of talent rather than looks. She hated that experience and was lucky to have escaped with her confidence intact. Cattrall shared that she constantly lets the tragedies in her life shape her, and she never wants to be in any situation where she is not living the best life, even for an hour. She lost her dad to Alzheimer's, and 7 years later, her brother took his own life. And her mother is on the verge of breaking down. Kim has been through it, but as she said, she is not going to let any of that define her. Kim, in an interview, cleared all rumors of plastic surgeries. I'm scared of surgery because I don't want to look in the mirror and not recognize who is looking back, she said. She attributes her looks to a good diet and healthy exercise. Kim Cattrall, now 67, certainly does not look a day older than 40. She enjoys the good life in her mansion on Vancouver Island. She has an estimated net worth of $60 million. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out other videos of beautiful actresses from the yesteryears on the end screen. As always, thanks for watching.